Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So the plan for today was to film a sort of summer autumn transitional kind of lookbook. I really wanted to film it outside because I think that lookbooks just look best when they're filmed outside, but since I got up this morning it has just been pelting with rain. It's not even the kind of drizzle that you could sort of get away with, maybe make it look slightly artistic. It is just absolutely hammering down, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to film that. Hopefully it won't be too far away. We have had the odd clap of thunder as well here, so hopefully if that does happen again the microphone won't pick it up, but I apologise if it does. So instead I thought that I would show you my everyday makeup routine. I'm really happy with all the products that I'm using at the moment. I haven't really felt the need to change anything for quite a long time. I don't feel the need to buy anything new. So recently I've begun prepping my skin with the Kiehl Skin Rescuer. I use this morning and evening at the moment. I do have quite dry kind of combination skin, and I know that a lot of people say that this isn't intense enough if you do have really dry skin. At the moment this is enough for me. I'm not sure whether in the winter when it starts to get a bit colder and my skin starts to get a bit drier in general, whether it will be enough or whether I'll have to kind of supplement it with a richer moisturiser afterwards, but I really like this at the moment. It gives the skin a nice healthy glow and it's definitely calmed it down. For my base I've been using the Estée Lauder Double Wear Light Foundation. I use this in the shade Intensity 0.5 and at the moment I've just been applying this with the Louise LY34 brush. This is the super foundation brush which just makes applying any base a dream. Really does quicken the amount of time that you need to take kind of blending in the base. Just a few sweeps of it and everything's sort of flawlessly blended. I can't recommend this enough if you haven't tried this already, and the foundation is a really nice one as well if you like something that isn't too heavy but will just last all day. Next up I've been tackling my under eyes with a kind of double whammy on Bobbi Brown. I start with the Bobbi Brown Corrector. This is in the shade Extra Light Bisque and it's a really nice kind of peachy creamy corrector that if you just pat it into the inner corners of the eyes it will diffuse any kind of darkness, any purple bluey tones underneath the eyes, and if you do have under eye circles or shadows, as I do, sadly I was genetically gifted with really bad under eye circles, so this is a godsend. To conceal under the eyes and just diffuse any leftover discoloration, I've been using the Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer. I've got this in the shade Ivory, and again I just do pretty much the same as what I do with the corrector. I pop it over the top, just using my ring finger to blend it and pat it into the skin. I find that if I use the two of these together it just kind of gets rid of any darkness, it brightens my under eyes up a lot, makes me look a lot more awake, and it's just the right amount of coverage for me. I think it doesn't crease or cake throughout the day, it looks really natural. To conceal any redness, any blemishes, any pimples and that kind of thing, I've been using the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer, and I tend to use this in a kind of pinpoint concealing technique. So I am using the Louise LY24 brush and the Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease brush. I apply it with the Louise brush initially just to any areas of the face that I feel need a little bit of extra coverage, so I put it straight on top of any pimples, any spots, any blemishes, and then I blend it out slightly with my ring finger before taking the Zoeva brush and just kind of buffing it into the skin and making sure that there's no telltale signs of like a difference in texture on the skin. It is a little bit heavy and a little bit drying. It definitely takes a little bit of practice to know how to use it perfectly and to make it work for you, but for me this specific technique just works really well and it just covers everything that I need covering. For powder I'm still using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders. I usually use Diffuse Light, but recently I picked up the palette which is just all kinds of beautiful. I love it. So at the moment I've been using the shade Dim Light just all over the face to kind of set any makeup down, disguise any oiliness, and I find that that is actually enough through the whole day. I've then been using the shade on the other end which is Radiant Light, which is a slightly more kind of bronzy, glowy, sheeny finish, and I just take that across the cheeks, down the centre of my face, just wherever I feel like it needs a little bit of a pick-me-up. It adds a little bit of colour, but it's not as harsh as your kind of classic bronzer. Once I finish the main part of my base, I've then been applying a little bit of the Max Factor Cream Puff Blush in the shade Nude Mauve, just to the apples of my cheeks. This won't come as any surprise to you probably. I've been using it for a really long time. I've yet to find anything better, either from the high street or for high-end brands either. I just absolutely love it. I think if you're going for a bit of a natural kind of glowy, radiant flush to the cheeks, you don't want anything that's too out there, but you just want to really complement your skin, then I recommend this. And it is the only blusher that I think I've ever received compliments on. Blusher isn't something that I normally get people kind of asking me what I'm wearing, but this one has, and I just absolutely love it. I can't rave about it enough, as you probably know by now, so I'm just going to shut up about it. I've then just been applying a tiny little bit of the Topshop Glow Popped. This is in the shade Polished, which is just this really nice kind of creamy champagne highlighter. I find that that looks really pretty on the skin. Because it is a cream, it blends in really well with the natural oils in the skin throughout the day, so as the day kind of wears on, it just looks even more natural and it blends in really nicely. Just apply that on the tops of my cheekbones, occasionally a little bit down my nose as well. It's been quite a while now since I last got my eyebrows done. I do definitely need to book in a threading appointment, so they are looking a little bit out of control unfortunately, but just to kind of tame them a little bit, I've still been using the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade. This is in the shade Medium Brown. I do tint my eyebrows now, and I find that just after they've been tinted, this is a perfect match. I haven't tinted them in a couple of weeks now, so they are looking a little bit kind of blonde and ashy. This is a really nice product all the same. I've been using it for a really long time, just with the MAC 266 angle brush, and I find that it just gives the brows a little bit of definition and makes them stand out a little bit more, a little bit bolder, and it's really good at just filling in any sparse areas as well. When it comes to eyeshadow, the only palette that I've been using at all at the moment is this. This is the Bourjois Smoky Stories palette in the shade Upside Brown. I absolutely love the shades in this. I think they all complement each other really, really well. This morning I just applied the medium brown shade all over the lid using a Real Tone Eats brush, and then I packed on a little bit of the darker brown into the outer corners of the eyes and just blended that all together, and it's just really simple, really quick, and the colours just complement each other perfectly. As always, I then took the MAC eye pencil in the shade Coffee, and I just run that along the upper lash line as well as into the lower lash line a little bit and smudge it out, and that just gives a little bit of extra definition. So after curling my eyelashes with the Shimmer Mirror eyelash curlers, I then just give a couple of coats of the Max Factor Full Slush Effect 24-hour mascara. I've been using the Max Factor Full Slush Effect mascara in one way or another probably for a couple of years now. I absolutely love it. It's my holy grail mascara. I've never found anything that comes close to it. It just makes them look a lot fuller, a lot more plump, and it doesn't clump them together either. They still look quite sort of fanned out and natural, but they're just a lot blacker. The waterproof version, which comes with a blue kind of band around it, is amazing as well. To be honest, I don't really know much of a difference between the 24-hour and the waterproof version, but I love them both equally anyway. Finishing off with lips, and I've been using the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil. This is in the shade Sex Machine, which is just the kind of perfect everyday wearable matte pinky nudie kind of shade. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it in the bullet, but I actually don't find that when it's applied to the lips that really shows up at all. It's just really comfortable, lasts a super long time like most of the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencils. I absolutely love them, and this is my go-to shade. So I think that is pretty much everything. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!